Hey guys, it's Tuesday, November 16th. I've just finished another whopping long day. Just a couple of things I wanted to share with you. I mentioned yesterday that there is hand, foot, and mouth disease, which is caused by the Coxsackie virus typically. That's doing the rounds. I saw another 2 cases of it today. So one thing that's really interesting is it was one of the parents said, oh, well, she's already had it, so it can't be that. And I'm like, why do you say that? Well, there's some things you can only get once. I'm like, guys, do you remember back in the day after we got the MMR vaccines, and then some of us would turn up with spots that looked remarkably exactly like the measles. And then they renamed it, and it's a first cousin to the measles called the fifth disease. And I'm like, woo! And I mean, it was clearly a milder case of the measles. And so just because somebody's had a vaccine against something, or because somebody has had something and acquired an immunity towards it, doesn't mean that the body isn't challenged. And so with parents who are dealing with kids who are going through viral things, or like if you had a kid with chicken pox, or scarlet fever's going around, like there's all sorts of little things. Parents, you might get little flu-like symptoms. You might be a little sniffy in the nose or have a little hack or something like that. Just because your body has had it and you have built an immunity to something doesn't mean that you're not going to be responsive in some way, shape, or form. So just to clarify that, because I thought it was interesting, her misconception that that the child had already had hand, foot, and mouth disease, and that just because the spots happened to be on the face and on the hands and by the feet, but they weren't like full on like blistery looking things, that it wasn't the same thing. It is. Okay, body is remarkable at what it can do, and so we just rock and roll and keep ourselves healthy and well. The other thing that I wanted to address that happened today, just I'm still not the better for it, to be honest. I had a very difficult encounter with a young adult who is, by all intents and purposes, perfectly physically healthy, who, when all this stuff started, had been going out on a vaccine passport, I think that didn't belong, or that was a fake or whatever, which a lot of people did because they didn't know what they were doing and they felt pushed into doing something, and they wanted to still be, young adults and teens who were going out with their friends and all, whatever. And so now with the change in things, this individual says to me that because their other friends who think that they're vaccinated will think badly of them, that they only have 2 choices. One is to get the vaccine. The other was to commit suicide. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what? And I know you guys think I've got a story every day. I got lots of stories every day because, like I said, I'm living in the petri dish here. So I just want you to know that that's what's happening. And so there are many healthy young adults who opted not to get vaccines for one reason or the other, which frankly is nobody else's business, who now feel like their whole world is threatened as everything clamps down further, and they, now they're talking about they can't get their hair done again or get to the gym, and they're like, I'm not willing to go through it again. Some of them barely sketched through the last time. And so when somebody said this to me, that they literally felt like these were their last 2 options today, I was just like blown away. And so yeah, I've been pissed all day long, to be quite honest. I don't know what, how else to deal with it. Like, I just needed to be angry today, and I was angry today about that because that just broke my heart. So that's it today. I'm going to leave you with this little note, and you're going to hear me saying this quite often now, and I'm sure I'm going to lose a slew of friends over this. I don't care anymore. We're getting into very dangerous territory because it is now literally those of us who have chosen not to vaccinate. Our fate lies in the hands of what the vaccinated choose to do now. Okay, let me say that again. Our fate lies in the hands of what the vaccinated choose to do now, because as they continue to shut down more services that are available to us, every single time that someone uses a vaccine passport in order to do something that they want to do, this isn't about whether you had a choice to get your vaccine or not. You don't probably realize that the vast majority of us who are unvaccinated, we totally support your right to get vaccinated, as all we wanted was you to support our right not to be vaccinated against COVID. And that's okay. That's a vaccine subject. What is not a vaccine subject is the fact that every time that you use an unconstitutional vaccine passport, every time you go to the cinema, every time you go to that restaurant, every time you get into somewhere that those of us who aren't vaccinated can't get into, this is not about a vaccine. This is about you very, very passively allowing this travesty of justice to take place against your fellow citizens. And, you know, literally the only way that that can stop is if you stop doing that. Oh, sure, well, they made their choice. Yes, we did. We did make our choice about taking a vaccine or not. Okay? And one that we know well, that the vaccinated and the unvaccinated can still get COVID. They can have COVID. They can die from COVID. They can transmit COVID. And the vaccine has the possibility of lessening the symptoms for the one who took it or reducing the risk of death. Full stop. You taking a vaccine has nothing to do with me, my health, or you caring for me in some way, shape, or form. But when you use a vaccine passport, you are supporting a system that is categorically whittling us down to the point where there are going to be stars. I'm saying it now. You know, they might not be yellow stars because that might smack a little too close to 1939, but they'll be stars. So that's all. And peace out. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I'll keep you posted on what's happening in here.